Hey guys, it's Adrian and I'm really excited because I'm taking a look at the Halo 96 from NuPhy. Now I did previously review the Halo 75 from NuPhy, but for those of you who prefer having a numpad like I do, this is an even better option than that. NuPhy sent me the Halo 96 in Ionic White and with the baby raccoon switches, which is what I requested because on the Halo 75 I had the linear night breeze switches. So let's get into it and see how it compares. Similar to the Halo 75, the unboxing experience is just really great, and a lot of detail and thought has gone into this. You can see we have this nice protective covering for the keyboard, and it's debossed with the name of the company, NuPhy. It's just really a lot of care and attention to detail. In the package, we have the Halo 96 keyboard, a manual, quick start guide, stickers, and we have additional switches here. So this is the Night Breeze linear switch, the Rose Glacier switch, and the rest of the switches are their Gateron partnered switches. Now we also have 18 additional keycaps if you just want to add in a pop of color there. We also have a Type-C to Type-A charging cable and a switch cap and key puller. It's such a great touch to add in these additional switches because if you ever wanted to order some from their website, you can have an idea of the switch feel. Quick Start Guide has, many common keyboard shortcuts and lighting commands, and the back side of it features a poster, which is a really nice touch as well. Here's the size difference between the Halo 75 and the Halo 96. So you can see that the keys that are running down vertically here are now over at the top, and the bezel size is exactly the same on the case for both keyboards. The Halo 96 is approximately 2¼ inches wider than the Halo 75. I have the Ionic White version of the Halo 96 and it does also come in a black version. But if you just take a look at this keyboard exactly as it comes, you can see this is just one of the most beautiful looking mechanical keyboards out there. And it's just so tastefully done in terms of the color pops and color accents. You can see it's not overdone. You have a little bit of color splash around the keyboard. The icons right below the F keys have a really nice turquoise look, and you can see that it's exactly matched to the escape key and the enter key at the bottom right. We still have the same beautiful two-tone color choice, same as found on the Halo 75. So you can see that the color is a little bit different from this aluminum top case to the ABS plastic at the bottom. But let's take a look at the bottom of the keyboard and you can see that same level of attention to detail. So we have a protective covering here for this little metal plaque, and we have rubber feet on both sides of the keyboard and 2-stage adjustment feet as well. There is a ribbed type of texture going on at the bottom underside of the keyboard, and if we take a look at a side profile around the keyboard, we can see that same rib texture carries all the way through. So it's really just a nice level of detail and attention pretty much everywhere you look on this keyboard. Back of the keyboard has the NuPhy logo embossed nicely on the back case there. And if we take a look at the top right, we have the NuPhy writing also debossed. If you wanted to go for an all white type of look or to add a splasher color, you do have these additional keycaps that you could swap in as well. The rear of the keyboard has a switch to switch it from Windows to Mac. We also have a switch to turn the keyboard off, put it into wired mode, or switch it to wireless and Bluetooth mode. We also have a port for charging and to connect it to the computer. The other side of the keyboard contains the wireless USB adapter, and that's magnetically held in place. The font selection is a really nice one as well, and you can see that the font has a type of curved or rounded look that pairs well with the overall design element of the keyboard. The keycaps are NuPhy's own KOP style. You can see that they have a rounded type of appearance and a pretty much flat profile. Now they are double shot PBT keycaps and they are grease and scratch resistant. Above the escape key, you'll find a status LED light, and that shows you different levels of battery life. Right now it's about 80% or higher. I also have the optional wrist rest that pairs with the Halo 96. So you can see it's a pretty muted design. There's this type of frosted plastic here. We have the NuPhy Studio logo debossed down here, and then also stamped or debossed at the top right corner here. If we flip it over, there's 2 screws here, which are completely hidden once you have the wrist rest flipped over. And then we have some silicone or rubber feet here. The wrist rest matches perfectly with the overall design of the keyboard. It doesn't seem like an afterthought, and I wish more companies paid this level of detail and attention to their keyboards, because a lot of us want a wrist rest and it's kind of a chore to hunt down something that matches with the overall aesthetic. The Halo 96 comes in at around 1.4 kilograms or about 3 pounds. The optional wrist rest comes in at around 0.5 kg or about 1.1 pounds. I'm not going to be taking my keyboard apart, but it does have bottom silicone, PCB silicone, and spacebar silicone for maximum noise reduction. The Halo 96 is a 96% layout with 99 keys, which are all double shot PVT. Available switches include Night Breeze, Rose Glacier, Baby Kangaroo, Baby Raccoon, and the Gateron Pro 2.0 switches, and they are all hot swappable. N-key rollover is supported, and there's backlit and side-lit LEDs. There's a 4000 milliamp hour rechargeable battery, and the keyboard can be connected by Bluetooth 5.0, 2.4 GHz wireless, and wired mode. It also supports Windows, Mac, Android, and iOS. The typing experience has been wonderful on the Halo 96, especially with the Baby Raccoon switches. So when I compared the typing experience with Baby Raccoon and the linear Night Breeze switches on the Halo 75, I actually found myself preferring the Baby Raccoon switches just because it requires a little bit more force to activate the keys, and the keys also spring back up a little bit quicker, so I just feel a bit more connected to the typing experience in that way. If you're planning on using the Halo 96 for typing and occasional gaming and you don't want to always swap out into a gaming keyboard, this is going to do perfectly fine as well, especially with the N-key rollover support. The sound profile coming out of the Halo 96 is really pleasant, so you're not going to have any problem using this in a home environment or office environment. It actually sounds quite pleasant to be around. By the way, if you're finding this review helpful, please consider liking and subscribing, but let's get back into the video. One of the reasons why the sound profile coming out of this keyboard sounds so nice and pleasant is due to this ghost bar technology that NuPhy has developed. And if you've used a lot of mechanical keyboards, this is one of the downfalls that's immediately apparent in terms of, rattling, wobbling, or just a really uneven type of sound profile. I'm assuming the reason that NuPhy refers to this as the ghost bar is because it ghosts unwanted sounds. So you can see if we look at the underside, there's separate compartments that the spacebar is divided into, and that's to help isolate sound and contain it. Now there's also this type of frosted plastic piece here that's also supposed to help with dampening the sound. And if we take a look at the keyboard itself, you can see that where the spacebar would go, there's this soft silicone material here as well, and that's also supposed to help with dampening sound, and it actually does a fantastic job at that. You can see that they've also stamped on that silicone pad, it says designed by NuPhy, and again, that's just the level of detail on this keyboard, because that's really placed in an area that most people wouldn't even think to look. So what do you do if you're scared of ghosts and by extension ghost bar technology? Well, NuPhy has also included this traditional type of spacebar that comes with the additional keycaps, and you could see that when you compare them, it doesn't have that special sound isolating feature. So I'm going to test both of these and you can see which you prefer. Again, I just want to highlight just how planted this spacebar is. You can see that there's not a lot of wobble or rattling regardless of where I apply pressure on it. It's really well done. I prefer the sound coming out of the ghost bar, and here's what the rest of the keys sound like. Let me know which sound you prefer. Do you prefer the sound coming out of the linear Night Breeze switches or the Baby Raccoon switches? The LED is really well done on this keyboard, so let's go through the different effects here. And this is just to have it completely off. To switch the color, we would hit function and right. And you can see we get cycled through solid colors till we get back to that rainbow RGB. To increase brightness, it would be function up, of course, and function down to cut it off completely. Now, if we want to change the speed, you can see we could slow it down to a crawl or speed it all the way up. In addition to the backlit LEDs, NuPhy also has something called a halo light, and you could see that wrapping around the entire border of the keyboard and also on the sides. Now this is a really cool effect that acts independently of the backlit LEDs. To change the halo light, we would hit Function, H for halo, and we can hit right to go ahead and cycle through different colors. We can also hit Function left to go ahead and change the effect. We can change the brightness of the halo light by pressing the down arrow, up arrow, and we can also change the speed of the halo light to make it slow or fast. So you have a ton of RGB options once you use the backlit LEDs in conjunction with that separate halo light. And of course that light ring follows all the way around the keyboard. You can also purchase optional shine through keycaps, and this is what they look like with the LEDs shining through. Here's an example of the shine through keycap set if you decide to purchase it. The side light located at the top left of the keyboard is handy for showing status changes. So you can see that it could show the power level of the battery if it's charging, if you're in caps mode, wired mode, Bluetooth, or if you've locked the Windows key. To demo that, if I hit caps lock, you could see that it's now solid green, and now it's off. And if I want to check battery level, I could hit Function and pipe, and because it's green, it means I'm at 80% or higher. The keyboard features north-facing LEDs. If you want to stop the keyboard from automatically going to sleep, that's really easy to do. You would hit Function, X, and C, and you can see that the halo light flashes to indicate that that change has been made. Here's what the NuPhy software looks like. So you can see right now we're in the lighting tab, and we can cycle through different type of lighting effects. We can change the brightness, speed, and solid colors, or random colors. Now if we go into key settings, this is where you could rebind specific keys or set keystrokes and things like that. If we go into macro, you can go ahead and record macros. If you're interested in checking out the Halo 96 or the Halo 75, I'm going to leave some links down below, and you could use my affiliate code DCT for an additional 10% off. As always, if you found this review helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. It really does help me out, and I'll see you soon.